I like to walk in the woods and think about what I'm writing, what I have written, what I'm gonna write. Sort of just all of it. Just try and decide where I'm at. Assess if I'm in a good place or not. Although today has been Skeeter Central, which I think might be a good analogy for my book, because it's just biting at me and I'm getting nothing positive from it except for bug bites. Analogy fell apart. That analogy fell apart. If the old overly dramatic adage is to rip your heart out and bleed onto the page, going back at my story, I've barely given myself a paper cut. I'm about 12,000 words in, so it's slow going, but I'm writing. Every time I reread it, it's just lacking any flavor. It's lacking any emotion. I don't know if it's ironic that the most boring character I've ever written is based on me, but that seems to be the case. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just too close to the story. Maybe I'm just rusty and out of practice. I don't know what it is, but the story definitely seems to be lacking in emotion. So I need to tinker with it and see what I can come up with. I think what I'm going to do is switch to third person. Separate myself from the character a little bit and see if I can draw some of those emotions out a little better. There's a lot of powerful events happening to the character, but that's just how it's reading. Like, they're just happening to him. And there's very little emotion coming from that. And this is supposed to be probably the story that I'm hoping brings out the most emotion in the reader of anything I've ever written, even though it's comedic. But so far, that is not what's happening. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep tinkering with it, keep playing with it, until it's right. So I'm writing these chapters as 3 separate timelines in this guy's life. There's the before, the during, and the after. But I'm not telling them in sequential order. So it might be after here and then before here. And I'm doing that so what you might read in the after could bring out a certain emotion, but then a couple chapters later, it adds a new insight to it when you read the before. I think it works really well, but I'm worried that it's going to annoy the reader with all the jumping around on the timeline. So you guys let me know if that bothers you when you're reading a book, or if you don't mind that so much. Because that part I think I would like to keep. I do believe the philosophy that a good writer is a good reader, so I also read a lot, and let's talk about that. And also let me know what you guys are reading. I want to hear about what books you guys are into, and give me some recommendations. I'm always looking for new and exciting books to read. The book that I'm reading right now, it's called Pax. It's a young adult novel, which I am. You can ask my girlfriend, she'll tell you. Man, child, young adult, that's the same thing, right? It's a book about a boy and his fox. It's about a boy and a fox. It's about a boy and his fox. It's like Lassie, but nothing like Lassie. Much darker. It's about a boy and his fox and their adventure to reunite in this weird sort of undefined world, sort of dystopian. It's good though. It's a very entertaining book. There's a lot of suspense to it. Half of the chapters are from the perspective of the fox, which I can relate to because I'm foxy. Am I foxy? But yes, it is a young adult book, but it is very entertaining and I'm enjoying it a lot, and you should definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. It's got pictures. That's my favorite part. It has pictures. Look, this page was really easy to read. There's a fox right there. After I finish that one, I have a large selection of books I need to read from on digital, on audio, and then books I bought that I just haven't gotten around to. The pile is just getting bigger and bigger. But I think the next one I'm going to read will be Stephen King's newer one, Billy Summers. It's Stephen King. I try and read everything that he comes out with. So that will be next on my list. And then I have The Bad Muslim Discount, which I've heard a lot of great things about. I read the first couple chapters of this just when I first got it. I just kind of perused through it, and I ended up putting it to the side because at that time I was reading a bunch of comic books that I had to get through too, but the first few chapters were hysterical, and it seems like a very good book, so I want to finish this one. So those are the next 3 books on my list. Besides books, I also get really into short stories. I subscribe to a lot of short story magazines on digital. Subscribe to Nightmare, which I love, Lamplight, and The Dark. That's all on digital. And then I'll show you guys my little collection of in-print ones that I get, that I subscribe to. I have one story. I like those. You just get a story every 3 weeks or so. Someone's short story. Yeah, Plowshares, but I don't always get through those. It can be a little bit not exciting. And I get the New Yorker for their short stories. And my favorite one is Carve. I get Carve magazine. I love that one. My favorite thing about that one is after each short story, they have, let's see if I can find it for you. They have this little stat sheet where they tell you when the first draft was written, the number of drafts, and the declines that it received. And this one says 0. Some of them are up to like 30. They'll have like 30 declines before they got published. And that's always cool to see. See, this one has 15 declines, 25 drafts written. Just goes to show, never give up. So we had a board game roundtable, and I want to show some of that, but I'm keeping a lot of the board game design stuff close to the chest right now. I don't want to give away all the information about it. So I'm just going to show little snippets, because the part I want you to see was the end result, because it makes a big change to one of my goals. Welcome to the roundtable of the board game. I'm with Becky, who does not want to be on video, and Nolan. There he is. Now you're an important part of this roundtable, okay? Because this game is designed for people your age. So we really need your insight. You know what that means? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
No.
Okay. It means we need your ideas on what's going to make this game fun for you. Alright?
Okay.
Okay. So he goes for the red first, then the next time he goes for blue, then he goes for orange, you know, and you can have him go whichever way he wants. If he really needs to focus on the reds, you just go on the red path the whole time.
First of all, I think that board design would be too complex, because when we started playing with Nolan, we were looking at like age 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
And that situation, just like a single circle, is so much easier for a child to navigate. Because you're almost talking like 2 separate games here.
That's true. Maybe that's what we need to do. For the 2 to 4, we make it that really basic. It almost is like, and that could even be like a tagline for it, like play their way. What would you think would be a good theme, buddy?
Well, Daddy, a forest will be nice.
So then the characters would all be animals?
Yes, because mine is an animal. It's a dog.
I think we should do the 2 to 4 one first. Mm-hmm. We'll make that board. We'll make the cards. Mm-hmm. I'll do that this week. Mm-hmm. We'll play it, see how it goes, and then get it made. All right, so now we're making 2 games. So now my goal is to make 2 board games in a year. So now I have to run a 5K in under 30 minutes, publish a YouTube video every week, write and publish a novel, and design and sell 2 board games in 1 year? I'm in over my head.